Hey, thanks for clicking on my video. If this video helps you, please consider liking this video and subscribing to my channel. It is greatly appreciated and it really helps. Let's get to the video.
In this video, we're going to talk about some fundamental trigonometric identities. So to start off with, let's take a look at our unit circle. And we know that for a unit circle, our radius is 1, and if we have our terminal side being this purple ray here, then it means theta would be our angle inside where we have our green arrow, also with theta labeled. And we also notice that for our unit circle, or we know that x is equal to the cosine of theta and y is equal to the sine of theta. So if we were thinking about Pythagorean theorem, x squared plus y squared is equal to 1, in this case with our unit circle, then over here where we have x squared plus y squared equals 1, we could go ahead and plug in cosine for x and sine for y. So it brings us to this trigonometric identity: cosine squared theta plus sine squared theta is equal to 1. So this is one of our first identities that we're going to look at. And how are we going to use these following identities? Well, number one, we can evaluate trig functions. We're going to do a separate video on that. We can simplify trig expressions, also a separate video. And then we can verify other trig identities. So we're going to make 3 other videos off of this one. But for right now, this is kind of just a summary video of all of the different identities that we're going to be working with. So down here we see the rest of the identities that we're going to be talking about. So we see the reciprocal identities. That's cosecant of theta would be equal to 1 over sine of theta. Secant of theta would be 1 over cosine of theta. And cotangent of theta would be 1 over tangent theta. Then we have tangent and cotangent identities. So tangent theta is equal to sine theta over cosine theta. And cotangent theta would be the reciprocal of that, so cosine theta over sine theta. We have other Pythagorean identities. So if cosine squared theta plus sine squared theta is equal to 1, then it would also make sense that sine squared theta plus cosine squared theta is also equal to 1. And we have a couple others. 1 plus tangent squared theta is equal to secant squared theta. And 1 plus cotangent squared theta would be equal to cosecant squared theta. Then we have cofunction identities. So sine of pi over 2 minus theta would be equal to cosine of theta. And vice versa, cosine of pi over 2 minus theta would be equal to sine theta. And tangent of pi over 2 minus theta would be equal to cotangent of theta. And lastly, we have some negative angle identities. So sine of negative theta would be the same as the opposite of sine of theta. Cosine of negative theta would be the same as just cosine theta. And tangent of negative theta would be the same as the opposite of tangent of theta. So if you want to take a screenshot of the screen right now, seeing these identities all on the screen, then that might be a good idea. But these are the main identities that we're going to build off of and make 3 separate videos on. So if you want to see more about how to verify these identities, evaluate some expressions with them, and so on and so forth, then check out the next videos that I will have after this one. So these are some fundamental trigonometric identities.